Look who got invited back to the Tony party.
I keep fooling them.
How many of those things do you have now?
3.
3.
And I haven't lost a single one, which is like a miracle.
We love that. Being nominated for the Lost Boys,
Yes.
this was putting together a brand new, enormous musical in front of New York audiences.
Yes.
This was a big project, no out-of-town run. What is special about getting this particular pin?
Oh, this one's next level special because of how deeply in love with this entire show, team, cast process I am and have been and remain. It has been a singular experience that I didn't think that I would be lucky enough to have again in this lifetime. And yeah, it's been wildly vulnerable to try new things every night in front of this audience. In terms of previews, was crazy. The hardest, most critical audiences in the world are here in New York. But I just feel like when you're doing that with a team like this, we've called this entire process a trust fall. It's just been like from the safety aspect and the things people are doing on stage, it is a trust fall. And then in terms of trusting each other and the collaborative process and but it's to be able to do that with this group of people, it's kind of like having that foundation is like, I'll try anything because I'm surrounded by these people.
12 Tony nominations for the Lost Boys. I mean, it's just a huge smash.
That's awesome.
Toast of Tony season.
Aww.
You know, and it's a lot of things that people love to say won't work.
Sure.
It's a vampire musical.
Sure,
it's based on a movie that
right.
people already love. So what do you think makes it work? Why is this show working with people?
I think in the beginning I thought, it's good that the movie wasn't like a huge box office smash. It reminds me of Hairspray in that way. Like Hairspray worked because it was like an underground cult classic that enough people knew and enough people didn't. So they were coming just sort of like in blindly. I think there's a lot of similarities between these two projects, not just based on a movie, but like timing, when the city and the world needs what we have to offer. I think we transport people to a whole nother place for 2.5 hours. And I think, yes, it's huge. Yes, it is the big Broadway musical has returned. Yes, it is a spectacle. But I think that doesn't work unless you have bones of characters that people see themselves inside of heart, of, threads of the importance of family and belonging and chosen family versus the family you're born into, and great music. Like, I think it's just all these elements have created just like lightning in a bottle, and not the least of which is this insanely talented cast and team. Truly.
What do you love about this woman you get to play every night? First of all, should we be looking at Diane Wiest movies for like future? I mean, Diane Wiest did a lot of great stuff. Like,
she really did.
Yeah, she was in this movie, a great role. Yeah,
we love you, Diane. God, Parenthood, come on, Diane Wiest in Parenthood is like one of the greatest performances of all of film history. What do I love about her? I actually struggled in the beginning to find where to fall in love with her because we're so very different, and I identify the places I judge my characters first because I know that's where I need to do the most examination because to find my total compassion and acceptance and understanding and love for those what I deem flaws, right? Because they're different than how I would navigate life. I think what I love about her and where I identify is being at a certain point in your life and looking back, seeing where you're at, seeing where you came from and looking at the pieces of yourself you've lost along the way, what you've given away, what's been taken from you. And I think at this stage of my life, like really trying to reclaim that ferocity of that 20-something that moved here and had nothing to lose and everything to prove. And just seeing where fear sort of, she says in Wild, my favorite song in the show, she says, before I learned to be afraid, where did I decide that was like, where did that come onto me? Where did I adopt that? And I think that's where I'm at in my life is like, where have I shrunk? Where have I been afraid to take up space? Where have I apologized for parts of myself? Where did my wild ferocity go? And I think, not just moms, I think a lot of people relate to her in that way, in that moment in the show. And yeah.
Well, I was lucky enough to
answer
meet.
The question?
No, yeah, you did in a beautiful way. But I was actually lucky enough to meet that young, ferocious woman who just moved to New York City. If she, let's say the girl who did Godspell off Broadway, right? The first big moment, you had a big solo, you had got a lot of attention for that. If she could see this moment right now and where you're at right now, like what would blow her away about it?
She'd be like, why did it take so long? That is 100% what she would say. Why? But I think what would blow her mind is that she didn't need to be anybody other than who she was. And I think she navigated trying to be what she thought people wanted from her. And I think the secret sauce was that she was her all along. And that is the thing that I try to shake into every young person that I meet and every person who wants to be in this business. And there's no way to impart that wisdom. They're going to have to live their way through it. But it is what I try to shout from the mountaintops is like, who you are is exactly what we need. It's perfectly enough. It's like, it is the magic. It is the secret sauce. And I just think she didn't know that yet. And I don't even know if she really still gets that, but I think she gets it now more than ever. But yeah.
Finally, I love looking ahead and thinking about where your career is going because it just keeps getting better and better. But I also want to make sure we really remember this moment. So can you do me a favor? Can you look in that camera and tell future Shoshana exactly how you feel right now?
You always make me cry. I feel insanely grateful. And if this never happens again, this will have been enough.
I love that.